Hi, welcome to Easy Vegan Lessons. The lesson today is a two-part lesson. Part one, we'll be doing a fresh tomato sauce with roasted tomatoes in the oven from scratch to finish. We'll be doing a quick bruschetta, salad, and roast peppers. In part two of Italian Feast, we will be doing vegan meatballs using vital wheat gluten and vegetables. I'm Italian, and I love Italian food, and I hope you love it too. You probably do, because lots of people love Italian. And if you don't love meatballs, you might like these vegan meatballs. If you love meatballs, you'll love these vegan meatballs. So no matter what, you're gonna win. It's tasty stuff, but you're gonna have to check it out and do it yourself. But as you do it, you must improvise and do it with love. You got to. That's the way it works. That's the way it works best anyway. So we're going to jump in step by step. Let's go. So we're going to begin with some fresh plum tomatoes. Cut them up, roast them in the oven with some bay leaves and garlic and herbs. Then we'll do some peppers, bruschetta, and salad, all of which are pretty easy and quick. In roasting vegetables of any type, peppers included, there's a couple of things to know. You want to cut the vegetables at a uniform size so everything cooks evenly. I typically use olive oil and pink salt at 425, 450. You can use any vegetable whatsoever. In this particular batch, I started out with about 12 large bell peppers that I cut up into uniform slices, about 2 inches long by about a half inch, and 5 cloves of garlic with olive oil and pink salt. You could add bay leaves, peppercorns, clove, anything you like, but garlic, olive oil, salt is the classic. This will be cooking for about 35 minutes at 425. And here they are. They look quite beautiful. And now we'll begin with about 9 very ripe plum tomatoes. I will be slicing them once again in a uniform manner so they cook evenly, taking off a little bit from the ends, and roasting them in the oven. The other alternative is to just cut them up, put them in the blender and blend them, and when your onion and garlic is nice and golden brown, with the addition of basil, dry or fresh, to just add them to the sauteed onions and garlic. But roasting them in the oven gives them a slightly different flavor, and it's just another option. Now, using tomatoes from the can is not terrible. It's convenient, but the plum, especially fresh, are fantastic. If you have other tomatoes that are really ripe and they're not plum, they create a lot of water, a lot of moisture, and it takes a lot more cooking. And it's fine if you see tomatoes on sale, nice ripe tomatoes of any variety, buy them and use them. It'll just take longer to get the water cooked out. So now I'm putting them in a roast pan with some olive oil and salt. I'll be adding a couple of bay leaves, a couple of cloves, which I've been using of late, something my grandfather used quite a bit. It really adds a beautiful dimension of flavor. Garlic, of course. I'll take out the cloves, and some black peppers, corns. I'm putting in some pink salt, about a teaspoon or so, maybe slightly less. And a couple of black peppercorns, as I said. I'll be taking out most of the black pepper and cloves when I blend it, and the bay leaf. And this will cook for, once again, about 30 minutes, about 450. And you're just gotta keep an eye on them. That's a lot of peppercorns, ain't it? That's why I took out a lot of them. Whoa, lost a couple. Okay, it's all good. And not to forget, I added some dry basil. Fresh is really nice too, but I wouldn't add the fresh in the oven. I would add that to the sauteed onions and garlic. So I'm taking my ground pepper, adding it in. I had some olive oil in the bottom, and I'll be putting a little bit more on top. Adding some garlic, even though I'll be adding later. I do like garlic. And you should too. It has a lot of selenium, but not everybody likes garlic. So I don't usually work this fast, but it would be very boring if I had this thing on slow, regular motion. So there you go. So I got some soup stock here, and I'm gonna add that a little bit later to the mix, just for more flavor. Sometimes I add carrot for a sweetener, actually quite often. Occasionally a little bit of sugar. Oh my God, no sugar. A little bit, raw sugar. It helps if the tomatoes aren't that sweet. And I'm gonna boil that down. I'm adding in the carrots to blend with the tomatoes after they get out of the oven. So any scraps you have, especially carrots, onions, garlic, celery, are great for making vegetable stock. Tomatoes came out great. I'll be removing the bay leaves, peppercorns, and cloves, and then blending them with carrots. For this amount of tomatoes, about a half onion will do. About 3 cloves of garlic. Trimming off the ends, doing a little cut down the middle to take the outer peel off. Then you want to cut the onion in half and lay the flat side down. Cutting first in one direction, about 1/4 inch, and then in the other direction. Being careful to have your fingers tucked in. Cutting in a downward motion. A sharp knife is good, but you need to be careful with it. A dull knife can be just as dangerous as a sharp knife because you're exerting too much force. With the garlic, I'll cut off the ends a little bit, get off the skin, smash it down a little bit, mince it, and if I'm doing a larger amount, I'll use a machine. It's time to saute the onions and the garlic on a medium heat. That was a little too hot, so I had to take it off. I'll do onions first because they take longer than the garlic. And you're looking for a golden brown color. Just a couple of minutes is all it takes. I'll be simmering this for maybe 30 minutes or so. It's thought of as a quick sauce. Although plum tomatoes, fresh, are best. If you didn't have that, or if you didn't have time, canned tomatoes would be fine, and a good Italian brand. So you're gonna wanna be sure to turn down your heat after a couple of minutes from medium to a low simmer and stir every 10 to 12 minutes. And so while the sauce is cooking, I'll be preparing the ingredients for the bruschetta. About 3 cloves of garlic, got some herbs de Provence, olive oil, a little bit of salt. I'll be making a mixture with the little food processor, smearing it on the bread, then broiling it in the oven for just about 2 minutes or so. Don't walk away from your oven, it's very, very quick. We'll be finishing part 1 of Italian Feast by a simple salad, heirloom tomatoes, hothouse cucumbers, wild lettuce. I'll be using a vinaigrette, 2-to-1 olive oil to balsamic ratio, a little pink salt. And in the next section, part 2 of Italian Feast will complete and complement this wonderful Italian feast with vegan meatballs in part 2. Stay tuned. Please subscribe.